Hello everybody, how are you doing? I hope that you are doing fine, and this is Mr. David, and we are in a new video in which we are going to explain a little bit more about this wonderful world of English teaching and learning. And today I am very excited because I'm going to answer your questions that I proposed you to ask me. And I'm here now in my channel, in my laptop, and I'm trying to read all the questions and answer all the questions as brief as possible, okay? As you can see in my community section, I'm going to leave a photo in here so you can see, I proposed people if I had to do this video completely in English, in Spanish, or I should answer in Spanish the Spanish questions, and in English the English ones. But finally, people have decided to make me do this video in English completely. So although I'm going to read the questions in Spanish or in English, I'm going to answer everything in English. So I suggest you going down here and clicking on the subtitles button, and you can see and you can read what I'm saying, and maybe this is going to be helpful for you if you don't understand what I say properly. Okay, so I hope my accent is clear enough. I hope that your level is good enough to understand me, and the combination of both things make this video understandable. Okay, let's start with the first question. Pappetaman 689, it says, ¿por qué elegiste estudiar francés y no chino en 8 bells? Opino que habría sido más útil probar el chino, ya que es un idioma mucho más difícil de aprender y por tanto si fuera posible aprender a través de la plataforma, el mérito sería mayor. Okay, Pappetaman, why I chose the French and not the Chinese? Because I'm not interested in Chinese. That's the main answer. I'm not really interested in Chinese. I'm interested in Japanese, but maybe Japanese, yeah, but no Chinese. And French was a subject that was like, you know, there in my box of things to do, and that's why I decided to take this chance and use this platform to learn French. As you may know, I'm collaborating with 8 so that's why I'm using the platform for free. And weekly I send some videos to them and upload the videos on YouTube so you can see my progress. And I have to say that everything I've been practicing and improving about my French is thanks to 8 bells, to 8 bells, we can say that in English. So to 8 bells. So that's why I decided to use the French. Another question from reviewer, as he says, estudios. Okay, so what are my studies? Well, I have English teaching diploma from the university here in my city, and then later I got certificates to prove that my English was much better than the normal people, the average people. So that's my only studies, and I needed no more. Okay, so I started working, and everything I have been improving and learning have been through working, not only through diplomas. Okay, so those are all my studies. I also have some courses done related to special needs in students, special things that you need to do when you have digital things in the classroom. So that's why I have more knowledge, and but it's not a formal diploma. Okay, so not a degree. Okay, so I have to say that the main diploma I have, the main study I have is English teaching education here in the university of my city, here in Spain. Okay, Corxx. Well, Corxx or double X. Okay, he says in English, okay? So why did you decide to become an English teacher? Why did you decide to start a YouTube channel? If your channel became very successful, would you be willing to give up your job as a school teacher? Do you have any special tricks for learning a language that you think nobody knows, or that you have come up with? Why do you think people struggle so much with pronunciation? If your channel truly took off and you were making a killing like eBay or or Rubius, would you go to Andorra? What do you think about the British cuisine and American cuisine? Do you think it's a myth that British girls are ugly? Culo, carpeta y demás. Ay, Dios mío. Would you make up questions in order to have enough for a video like this one? What do you think? Looks nicer, a cowboy hat or a beret? Okay. You know, so part of these questions are like a joke, but I'm going to answer to all of them. So why did I decide to become an English teacher? Actually, I was not supposed to be an English teacher. I wanted to do another thing, but because of a medical issue, I had to do something with my life. And that was like my second option. So I decided to get into it. And the first practices I had in front of an audience, okay, in front of my children, is when I discovered that I really loved this job, and I decided to stay. I thought that English was the best specialty you could have, okay, so that's why I decided to do the English one. But I'm also a good student, so that's why I could catch up with English so soon, and well, this is the English you can see. So I've been speaking in English and practicing and doing a lot of things in English since I finished my degree practically more than 10 years ago. And I had already quite a level in there back in the day. Why did I decide to start a YouTube channel? I decided to start my YouTube channel because of the pandemic. Actually, I used the YouTube channel in order to have a platform for my students to follow me. Okay, so we found ourselves in our homes, we couldn't go to school, and that was my way to go to their houses and they could follow the lessons. But later, I found that there were more people than students I used to have. I mean, okay, I have maybe 150 students and I had 200 followers, and I was like, okay, this is not normal. And people started talking to me like, oh, you explain very well, I like your channel, and etc. And that's why I decided to go to another level, okay, so to reach another level and change the kind of videos I used to do for my children and do something more for adults, because it's what I really like. I have a lot of knowledge about English language. I have a lot of things to learn as well, but I wanted to share what I know with people, and I really appreciate the quantity of followers that started to follow me. So I mean, I'm very thankful for that. If your channel became successful, would you be willing to give up your job as a school teacher? No, definitely not. For me, it was kind of hard to take that job. Okay, so here in Spain, you have to pass this special exam, etc. And you know, there are so many factors to take into account, and I'm not going to give it up so easily. Okay, so if this channel took off and I can earn more money and etc., okay, I would appreciate that, and I could do some things with my life, but I don't think I would give up on teaching properly. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm working on another project, and maybe that project would make me move from English teaching in schools to English teaching in other places, but it's not my main objective nowadays. Do you have any special tricks for learning a language that you think nobody knows? No, I don't have any special trick. I know the tricks you need to know and how to use them properly. So I think that the main trick you need to have is motivation, to be efficient in your learning, to know yourself, and to know when you are more productive. Okay, so that's very difficult to find out, and once you do it, once you know yourself, once you know how your brain works, you can do a lot of things. So I think that there is no trick, there is no new trick, there is no new method, there is no new idea. These are the same ideas, but with good organization. Okay, so that would be my explanation for that. But I don't consider myself to have a trick that makes my teaching special or whatsoever. Why do you think people struggle so much with pronunciation? Well, if you refer to people as Spanish people, they struggle with the pronunciation because our language is very strong. Our language has very strong pronunciation, it's syllabic, so it sticks to the way it's written, okay? So when you read and you pronounce the things you are reading using that code, that way it's going to make you have a hard time learning other language, which is completely the opposite. It's non-syllabic, and what you read is not what you pronounce exactly, and you have to follow other rules, so you need to think about other things. So there are advantages and disadvantages about that. I think that English itself is much easier than Spanish in terms of grammar, in terms of vocabulary, in terms of a lot of things. But English is more difficult than Spanish in terms of pronunciation, depending on which is your mother tongue, okay? So if you all come from another kind of languages, maybe it's easier. I think that we also struggle because I think that the educational system is not good. So now is when we are starting to notice that we really need English and how much we need to work on that. So little by little we have to create more good teachers who can teach better students. So that's the thing. So if my channel were successful, would you go to Andorra? I don't think my channel would reach that success. I don't think that I'm going to be such a rich person to go to Andorra. But you know, I wouldn't mind. I would like to visit Andorra, to know Andorra, and I'm really concerned about how the taxes are paid in here in Spain, and I feel that it's completely unfair. And I really understand YouTubers that go there. I really understand completely. They spend their time to make their money, and there is a system who decides that because you are richer, you have to pay more. And we don't have to forget that taxes are paid in percentages. So the more you earn, the more you pay by nature. Okay, so to rise up the percentage because you're richer, I don't think it's a good way. And actually that makes people to feel that being an entrepreneur is useless here in Spain. So I wouldn't mind to do that, but I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think so. Would you make up questions in order to have enough for the video like this one? No. I mean, if I had only 2 questions, I would have answered the 2 questions and that's all. I mean, I'm not going to invent anything. I mean, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, so you can detect if I am lying or not. So, no, I would never do that. I don't like that. I'm not that dishonest person. What do you think looks nicer, a cowboy hat or a beret? I'm more with a beret, actually. I think it's more Spanish, so that's why I stick to my Spanish roots. Okay, so I would choose the beret. Okay. Okay, nice, Corxx. Woof, so many questions. Let's find the rest of them. Prairie, okay, it says, aspectos técnicos. ¿Nos presentas tu setup para hacer los vídeos? ¿Qué te impulsó a comenzar el canal? ¿Qué ha pasado con las gafas? ¿Te has operado la vista? ¿Te costó ponerte delante de la cámara? ¿Te vacunarías? ¿Con qué vacuna? Y si le coges gusto al francés, ¿serías profe de francés también? Saludos. Okay, first of all, Prairie, thank you very much for your questions. Okay, about my setup. Okay, it's a very basic thing. So actually behind me I have a chroma. You can see it now. So it's just a piece of fabric which is this color green. So it's easier for editors. Okay, so these applications for video editing is easier for these applications to remove, and then I can put another background. And my setup is also this microphone that actually it cost I think that 12 euros. 12 euros. I have a mobile phone, so actually I'm looking forward to buying a new one, but you know, this is the thing I have. So I have a mobile phone that I'm using now to record with this microphone, with this thing, and also my laptop to work on the videos. Okay, so a very good laptop. That's the first thing I changed, so I could make videos better and more comfortably, because the old laptop was a nightmare. You know, I could do it. I did it because I really like video editing, but it was a nightmare. It was very slow. But now this laptop is really reasonable. I really like this new laptop. Okay, but I would like to change it. I would like to change to have a better laptop. I would like to have a better mobile phone, but I think that I don't need more. I don't need much more. About ¿qué te impulsó a comenzar el canal? Okay, so I explained that in a question earlier. So it's because of the pandemic. I needed to find a resource I could use to make my children follow my lessons, and that's how everything started. But then I started having new ideas and changed the topics of my videos to focus more on adults and also making interviews and having fun, definitely. ¿Qué ha pasado con las gafas? ¿Te has operado la vista? No, I didn't operate myself of my eyes. I didn't operate my eyes. I'm using contact lenses right now because I also have a ring, you know, a light ring, and I didn't like the reflection of the light ring on my glasses while I was explaining things. So I was feeling really uncomfortable. I think that is ugly. I see that some people have glasses and use it, and that's good. But in my opinion, it is an ugly thing. So that's why I decided to put on contact lenses and use the ring. So it's much better because of the light in front of me. And it's also easier for me to edit the video if the illumination is good in general. ¿Te costó ponerte delante de la cámara? No, not at all. You know, the first times you need to rehearse. You need to rehearse because you feel that it's easier than it really is. And then you start forgetting things. You start you have guidelines and you try to remember all of them, and you know that you can edit the video, you can cut different parts depending on the mistakes you commit, or if you don't want to express it that way, you have to express it that other way. So that's why at the beginning was really hard, because I used to start and stop the recording. So every time I committed a mistake, I had to start again. And then later, with these applications, I could discover that, okay, I can commit mistakes, I stop a little bit, and then I can cut this part in my laptop. So now it's much easier, it's much faster in my case. But no, actually I'm a very extrovert person. I'm all the time telling jokes, I'm all the time being the center of attention in my class with my students, and I really like having fun with them, because I think that is essential if you want to teach anybody. So to have fun and to try to do something in a playful way. So for me it was not difficult. ¿Te vacunarías con qué vacuna? So I have to say that I have already taken the vaccine, concretely the AstraZeneca. So I have been quite stressful, uncomfortable, afraid these past few days because of the news of this AstraZeneca vaccine. I really feel sorry for those families who have lost any member of their family because of the vaccine, trying to prevent the coronavirus, but they die because of the vaccine. It's really disappointing. I have to say that it's really disappointing. I understand that people say, okay, these are statistics, okay, so we have millions of people who have taken the vaccine, but only a few hundreds have died or have had some side effects. You know, but I feel that every life matters, everyone. So even if only one person dies, I think that we need to take that into consideration, because we are trying to save lives, not to take them. So I have been quite worried about this, but you know, I'm feeling fine. When I took the vaccine, it was a Tuesday, I didn't feel anything, but the next day was horrible. I have to say that I got chills, fever, shivers. I don't know, I felt it really, really bad. But the next day, I could stand up for myself. I could go to work as well. And then from that day on, I could recover, and now I'm 100% full energy. So now I'm worried about taking the second shot. Actually, my mother called me a few days ago begging me not to take it, because she's really concerned about that. She's really worried about me. You know, and I also have my family on my own. I have my children, and you know, I think that I can do much more things in life. I don't want to risk it. So, well, let's see if this pandemic little by little goes away, and then we can go back to normal. Si le coges gusto al francés, ¿serías profe de francés también? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I really like teaching while I learn. Every time I learn something, I like teaching it, because I think this is also a very good technique to remember things. Okay, so if you are able to teach it, if you are able to explain it, that means that you really know the things. You really know what you are dealing with. So yeah, why not? I mean, if I get to have a really good level of French, I get my certificates and also the diplomas that corresponds to that job, I would do it, okay? But what I wouldn't do is to teach French without knowing it, okay? So this is going to take me time. I've been learning French for less than 2 months with Ocho Bells, although I had more experience previously, but I had to say that now I speak really fluent and I can explain more things because I've been practicing these days. But I explain in my videos about the French course I'm doing now. I'm explaining what strategy I'm using and why I consider that you should take the same strategy. Okay, so I spend almost 1 hour or 1 hour and a half learning French every day. So every single day doing French. So I think that's the attitude. I mean, so yeah, why not? Why not? I would like to learn French and teach it. Yeah, why not? If I'm with energy and time, and if I can do it, I would like to learn German, to learn maybe Chinese, maybe Japanese, maybe Italian, Basque. I would like to learn Basque and Catalan, because as I am from Spain, I really like to know the languages of my country. Okay, because I consider them part of my country. Although there is a political issue we need to deal with, but you know that is a topic for another video. Okay, so we're not going to get into it. Thank you, Prairie, for your questions. Ok, tu inglés sin barreras. Hola, Mr. David, me encanta tu canal. 2 preguntas. ¿Cómo ves el futuro de la didáctica a distancia? Y 2, tus 3 youtubers favoritos relacionados con la educación. Wow, that's a good question. So thank you very much to Inglés sin barreras. Thank you very much. How I see the future of distant learning, no? Distant English teaching and learning. Okay, I think that is a very promising future, because now, because of the coronavirus, people don't like face-to-face lessons, they prefer distant lessons, they prefer online lessons. And they don't have to be less effective than face-to-face, and actually I think it's more comfortable, I think. But you know, I really like face-to-face lessons. I really enjoy and I really prefer going to a person's house or going to a class and teach what I have to teach. But I have to understand that, that due to this new situation, we need to adapt, and we have found in this technology on the internet a very good method to do our job. Okay, so now we are going into the digital world with giant steps, I have to say, and I'm really willing to be part of it. So that's why I started my YouTube channel as well, because I wanted to start my footprint on the internet. So I'm thinking about new projects to do as well, and all of them are related to the digital world, I have to say. So although I feel nostalgic about teaching face-to-face, I have to say that the future is distant teaching through the internet. I'm not so sure about using courses. I really prefer to have a professional person in front of me or in front of me teaching me. Okay, so I think with good professionals you advance much more. Your progress is wider, more efficient and faster. 3 youtubers favoritos. Well, my first youtuber, I gotta say, is Mrs. A. One of the things I really appreciate about becoming a YouTuber is to meet new people, and I really appreciate the fact that I could meet Mrs. A, and I could have more conversations with her in private, and I have learned so much, and well, we have become friends. Actually, we are good friends in real life now, and we could have done it because of the internet, because of the YouTube thing. Okay, so I really appreciate to meet that person. So Mrs. A is a really recommendable one. About learning English, there are so many good options. Okay, so for example, YouTalk TV has a combination of free activities and also pay-to-learn activities. Okay, the YouTalk TV Plus. So I really recommend those people because these 2 brothers are really honest. I think that they are very good people. I could have the pleasure to meet them on the internet, obviously. I had an interview very recently, and I really enjoyed talking to them and learning from them and being that humble people. I mean, I feel that they are good. The quality of the person, okay? So the quality of their personality is really good, and we need to look for that as well. It's not only about academic things, it's also about the person you have in front of you, if that person really wants the best for you. And I think that they can do it. And my third YouTuber. Well, if you tell me YouTuber, there is a couple that I really enjoy, and their YouTube channel is called Amigos Ingleses. I think that they are funny and they explain things in a very clear way. So that would be my third option. Okay, so we have Mrs. A, YouTube TV, and Amigos Ingleses. I think that these three are really good. If we go to another social media, I would appreciate to mention on TikTok that we have Let's Speak English with Robbie Vincent and Maria Speaks English with Maria G. Duran, which I say hi to both of them because they are really nice people. I could have an interview with them. I really encourage all of you to watch them and to follow them because you can learn a lot of things from them. Okay, so thank you very much to Inglés sin Barreras. Okay, next one. Medapereza me dice: hola David, ¿crees que la educación española merece una reestructuración en su enseñanza? Quizás adaptaciones o no sé. ¿Qué opinas? No solo en inglés, en todo. Saludos. Well, I think that we really need to improve a lot of things, but I give you the good news. We are already doing it. Actually, I belong to a group of people who are improving things in Andalusia in terms of didactic units, digital teaching, and more things. Okay, so we are trying to deal with the reality we are having now, and I think that we are doing quite a good job. We are spending hours creating good things. We are so much people trying to coordinate, and I'm really proud of being part of this group. It's hard work, but it will pay off soon enough. Okay, Lalla Rose. Oh, mon ami, elle parle très bien français, elle est très belle personne, je pense qu'elle est très belle personne, parce que tous les jours que nous parlons en français, elle m'a dit tout le temps que je parlais français très bien. That's a lie, Lalla. I don't speak French that well. Okay, so Lalla, I have to say that I really appreciate having you in here. Lalla is one of the people in my Telegram group, and for me it was quite a surprise that I find your questions in here. Okay, so thank you very much for coming here. Bienvenue à mon channel. Je suis très content parce que tu m'as posé la question, ¿no? Ok, good. ¿Qué recomiendas para el aprendizaje de idiomas? ¿Clases presenciales, digital o ambas? ¿Recomendarías a un profesor particular? ¿Ventajas e inconvenientes? Un saludo. Bueno, y con esto me parece que es la última pregunta. No, me queda otra. Bueno, Lalla, te contesto. Ok. I would recommend to have a teacher, definitely. I would recommend to have a teacher. And if you're looking for a teacher of English, I think that you have a good option here now. But I gotta say that I really think that a teacher is much more productive and it's better for you than a course that is completely impersonal. Although the courses are very good and well organized, and you can have a lot of information with a lot of materials and resources, I think that doing this kind of courses is rather impersonal. So it depends completely on you. I mean, you have the feedback already there, but you don't have a person trying to tell you, okay, you're committing a mistake in here, your pronunciation is not good in here. Okay, so I think that this kind of methods requires good responsibility, and not everybody has that skill. So I think that the guidance of a professional is essential. So if you have the chance to have a professional rather than paying for a course, I would choose the professional. If it's face-to-face or digital, I don't really mind, because if you are a really good professional and it's a one-on-one lesson, that is good, okay? Maybe if you have groups, I would prefer face-to-face, but if we have one-on-one, you can do it whatever, but I would always take teachers rather than courses. The disadvantage of this, that maybe that kind of quality teaching is more expensive than buying courses, but I think it's logical, okay? So that person is working for you, spending time programming for you, worrying about you, so I think it deserves the better. So thank you for the questions, Lalla. And the last one, I think, Rocío Girón. Hola Mr. David, mi pregunta es ¿cómo hacer para mantener la motivación diaria para poder aprender inglés? Siempre empiezo muy motivada, pero a los días de tanto trabajo o las cosas de la vida te van apagando las ganas de aprender. Muchas gracias. So learning a new language requires having a good will. So that's why my recommendation is to have a teacher, because if you don't feel motivated, that teacher can motivate you. So I think that is better. The more impersonal is the course you're doing, the more dependent on you and only you is that course, it's much more difficult to follow the rhythm unless you are really motivated, unless you have a very important objective to fulfill. It's very hard to keep it up. So my motivation is to try to find variety in your learning. Try to find variety in your learning. That would be my objective. Organize yourself, establish your routine. Try to use different resources, but not all kinds of resources, okay? So just find the 2 or the 3 that you like and use it in a cycle way, okay? So you do 1, the 2nd and the 3rd, and then the 1, the 2nd and the 3rd again, the 1st, the 2nd and the 3rd again, and again and again and again, okay? And you need to find a way to check if your English is really improving or not. So you need to find a way, like talking to a native person, having a good friend who has a good level of English and can do you the favor of correcting you, okay, so the favor of correcting you in general. So yeah, that kind of thing. Maybe having a teacher for a couple of sessions as an evaluation, maybe. Okay, I can do it myself if you want to. So you can also go to my Telegram group. Actually, I have my Telegram group in which I talk to people every day, and I also have the work team group in which I propose some activities. So you can also receive again and again a feedback from a professional who is telling you if you're improving or not and in which points you need to improve. Sometimes you feel demotivated because you don't really know where to continue from. Okay, so you are like studying, but you don't really know what's your objective and what's your beginning, and sometimes you get lost in the middle. So that is a very dangerous path, okay? So we have to try to keep up the motivation by having a good organization and also a good strategy and good resources, okay? So I think that's my answer to that question. But you need a strong will, and sometimes you need the help of others. And the last question, finally the last question, Odalis Rodríguez. Mi pregunta es, ¿cuánto tiempo te tomó aprender inglés y cuáles fueron las estrategias que usaste? Okay, so Odalis, practically I answered Rocío here on the same question, but when I started learning English would be a good question as well. I started when I was in the 4th of primary. I was 10 years old, so 20 years ago. So yeah, I'm 30 years old now. So around 20 years ago I started with English at school. Later I continued with the high school. I had some knowledge, but not that much. I could pass the exams, but I had to recognize that my English teachers at high school were not that good. But that doesn't mean that I feel that all teachers are bad, you know, so I think that they were not the good ones. I mean, I could learn from them, but not that much I wanted to learn. And then later, when I started with my degree on English teaching, I started taking lessons in different academies. Okay, in different academies, but because they were related to university. Okay, they were not private ones. They were related to university. And I have always been a good student as well, and a very organized and methodic person. And that's why I try to transmit the same methodology, the same strategy to all my students. And well, one more thing. I consider that the year I finished my degree and I passed my first certificate, which was the C1, I think that is when I started with real English. Okay, so like using the previous English I had and try to shape it in a good way. Okay, so that's why I can consider that I spent some months only to learn proper English, but I have some, you know, some previous learning, some previous knowledge. So my anecdote is like I passed the C1 level in 2 months. I had some English, but I didn't have the organization. So I had to study the exam, I had to study with books. I spent 1 month before these 2 months, I spent 1 month just looking for good resources that could adapt to my way of thinking. And then the other 2 months were really intense. Like, I'm not joking, but like 8 hours a day during 2 months. Boom, 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 every day. Using my TV in English to practice my listening. Trying to watch videos in English every single day. Trying to transcribe the things I heard from different activities. Looking for the new vocabulary, etc. So everything I propose my students, so everything I give, everything I suggest is because I did it myself before. So I cannot answer properly your question, Odalis, because I don't really know when it started exactly and when it ended. Well, actually I can tell you that it hasn't ended yet, because I'm all the time learning something new. And there are some things in English that are not very comfortable for me to use because I'm not very into it, you know, or because I have other strategies to communicate myself. So as you have seen, I have spent most of this video speaking in English with no problem. And maybe some people would say, okay, yes, your English is good and etc., but your accent is not that good. If you go to the United States, they would detect that you're not American. Yeah, but that's not my objective. You know, that's definitely not my objective. So if I ever go to America, I know that I'm going to be able to communicate with people. I really know that, because I have been to England, I have been to Amsterdam, and I have been to different English-speaking countries, or countries in which I could use English to defend myself. And I had absolutely no problem. But if you feel that the accent is that important, okay, you can give it a go. The problem is that people who criticizes the most about the accents of other people are those ones who don't have a good accent by themselves, okay? Because the people with a good accent, they understand it's difficult to have an accent, okay? They understand that just learning another language and using it properly, as I am doing now, it's hard, it takes time. So we are not going to take our time criticizing people or bringing people down. I mean, we are trying to cheer people up. So if you have an accent that is not the native one, you have to feel proud, because that means that you don't speak that language, but you are able to communicate in that language. And yeah, maybe I don't know all the slangs in the world, I don't know all the phrasal verbs, but that's not important, okay? So I have the C2 level nowadays in terms of certificates. I prove myself worthy of it, and I teach people to get their certificates as well. And I don't accept people passing the test not being able to speak. So for me, speaking is very important. And I wanted to end the video with this idea, okay? So thank you very much for watching the video. If you have reached this part of the video, I'm very thankful, and I hope that you enjoyed, that you learned from me, and that you didn't miss any of my previous videos, that you won't miss any of my future ones, and I hope that you enjoy and learn with me. I suggest you coming to my Telegram group here down below in the description box, and you can see also more information about my other social media, okay, other social networks I use. And in general, if you have any question, you can find me properly. I want to thank people who buy me a coffee every now and then. So I'm really thankful because every coffee helps me to reach the objective of changing the gear I'm using for my, the setup I'm using for my videos. So thank you very much. I don't want to make it longer, so see you around. I hope that my English is good enough for you, that you learned so much from me, and you didn't miss any of the information in here. However, if you like the video but you want me to do it in Spanish, here, leave me the comment. David, please do the same video in Spanish. I want to learn, I want to know everything you want to say. And I'm gonna do it in Spanish as well, okay? So, but leave me the comment. If not, I will go to the next video in which I teach another thing in English. So, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, bell, and also click on like. Bye bye.